We are live.
Okay, Commissioner Chair and everything. Okay, so this is Senate Appropriations. We're taking up bills today, Thursday, March 19th. And now we're going to take up S-193. We have Ledge Council to just give us the high notes, articulating why you may think the bills and appropriations.
Okay. Would you like me to share my screen? Or should I just give you sort of an overview?
You can give us an overview. I don't think we need to see the language just because we're not going to get into that kind of level of detail.
So Katie McGlynn, Office of Legislative Counsel, S-193 is a bill about forensic facility. I know you have seen several bills about a forensic facility over the past, let's say, 10 years. This variation is a little bit different in that this is a forensic facility that would be operated by the Department of Corrections. The population that would be eligible for services at the forensic facility is greatly narrowed from previous iterations that have come to you. In this particular iteration, the individual would have had committed or alleged to have committed a serious violent crime, and the person would have been found incompetent to stand trial or not guilty by reason of insanity. So that's the population that is served by the forensic facility. In the bill itself that came out of Senate Judiciary, there is not a lot of detail about how the forensic facility will be structured, and I think that's maybe what you're interested in. Like, is it a standalone facility? Is it not? But since it has come out of committee, Senate Health and Welfare and Senate Institutions, where I'm going next, has been doing some work on an amendment to provide a little bit more guardrails, for lack of a better word, regulation around the clinical services and protections that would be in place for individuals receiving care at a forensic facility. They have decided not to have language that the facility has to be a standalone facility. There is language that the individuals receiving services at the facility would be in a community like residential setting, and that they would have access to 24/7 care that would be available to them. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, there's also language that there would be an opportunity for multiple forensic facilities or more than one if the clinical need of individuals dictated that there were forensic facility services, provided in 2 different locations. But in terms of, a specific, where is this going to be? What is it going to look like? The bill doesn't have that. It has a report back for more of that information. But the bill kind of creates the court process to allow for persons to come to a forensic facility, and has some parameters around the clinical services they'll receive there, some rulemaking provisions, and some report back provisions. And the forensic facility language, I think, takes effect, let's see, we said 18 months. So January 1 of 28, I have to double check that.
Yeah.
Okay, did I remember that?
The rulemaking begins on July 1, 26, and then section 4A, I don't remember what that one is. That happens the next year, and then that's the forensic facility definitions.
Yeah, so January 1, 28 is when the court processes by which somebody could come to a forensic facility would be in place.
So maybe, I was going to ask the Commissioner of Corrections who's here, but I'll ask you first. So the part of the bill that says the Commissioner of Corrections shall establish and operate a locked secure facility, that's on page 11. Is that either not going into effect right away, or that's the part that I think people think, well, that means you got to have a forensic facility.
That takes effect January 1, 28.
Okay. So that's the the key part. So between now and 28, what happens to these?
Rulemaking,
Okay. And to
report back.
these individuals?
The status quo. So if somebody is determined not guilty by reason of insanity, they would go to the community, or if they have a serious mental health condition, have a clinical need for an order of hospitalization or non-hospitalization, they would be treated through DMH's system.
Okay.
And that happens before January of 27, rulemaking.
Rulemaking, yes. Hold on, that's in the amendment. Do I have the rulemaking in the amendment?
I don't think so.
Begins on,
Section
Oh, I don't have
5 of the, you probably don't have the amendment in front of you because
This is an amendment.
this
Actually,
is an amendment
This
coming
is the
from all of the members of Senate Health and Welfare. They decided on that this morning. Potentially, members of
Rulemaking
Senate institutions
begins
are also going to
oh,
sign on to
July
it.
instead of June. Okay.
Okay.
And
and then this is
hence me
what's
going
in
over there
the
next to see who
interim
wants to sign on.
reports and the rules and reports.
So let's see. The rules, section 5, rulemaking. The rulemaking takes effect on July 1, 26, meaning they would commence the process of adopting rules on July 1, 26. And there has been testimony that the 18-month window between when their authority to adopt rules and their authority to open a forensic facility would be sufficient to get rules in place. And then I know this committee is probably curious about more structurally what the facility would look like. And there is a report back that asks for more details on that piece. Where is it going to be and how is it going to be structured?
Yeah, and that's why we asked the commissioner to come in to maybe give us some more. So if there are no other questions for Ledge Council, we'll ask the commissioner to come up. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner, for making yourself available on short notice.
Thank you, sir. I am John Murad. For the sake of the record, I'm John Murad. I am the Commissioner for the Vermont Department of Corrections.
So the main question is, because we're mainly concerned about the finances or what kind of cost impact. So you're required to do a lot of things in this bill. There's no appropriation in here. So I just wanted to make sure we heard from you that if you think there's unfunded mandates of your department in here, or if you're concerned about those kind of things.
As I read, when this bill was in its earliest stages, and I will confess I'm not fully aware of all the changes that have made in the current version as it may exist. I mean, even some of the things that council just mentioned are slightly different than versions I had seen. So forgive me for that. But as it was discussed initially, frankly, this did not represent a tremendous change in operations for the Vermont Department of Corrections. Yes, it would entail some additional personnel, primarily through our contracted healthcare provider, WellPath. And that is a service that they can provide. We would have to have contract adjustments, of course, of unknown amount at this time, but certainly not. We're not talking about tremendous increases in staff or in capacity, and that is a service that they do provide in other states to other correctional clients. With regard to facility, frankly, the people this is envisioned to address are already in our custody. We have a number of people in our custody who are currently awaiting trial for charges such as those envisioned by this proposed bill, charges mostly that have to do with murder and have to do with extreme acts of violence that would result in potential life imprisonment. Many of those individuals are in our custody and are currently incompetent or are in various stages. Competency can be fluid. Sometimes you can have it and then lose it again and then regain it. And a component of this is the provision of medical services that would restore competency or make efforts to restore competency. In that respect, this does not represent a significant change to our operations. It represents an additional level of service for people who are already in our custody. It also, I think, clarifies in the law and for any number of parties that these individuals should in fact be in a correctional setting while awaiting trial. That is not always clear at this moment. There have been instances in which people who are accused of really horrific crimes have been moved back and forth from corrections to a community location to corrections again while awaiting competency restoration or while undergoing competency evaluations, let me say instead. I think this clarifies that and would make correctional facilities the default. And that's, I think, a good thing for public safety in the state.
So it could be a forensic facility, but it's fully within the correction facility, an existing correction facility. Like this, these cells or this part of the facility, we'd say that's our forensic facility.
Just as we do right now for people that are held with us in this capacity.
So, yeah, because I think in the past, there was all these efforts to build a new facility. So when people think that's what they mean in here, that you're gonna have to build a whole new facility.
That is not something that the Department of Corrections envisions, nor is it something that anybody has appropriated funds for.
Yeah, right. So that was the concern, I think, of that. And maybe this was a way of making it without appropriating the money for it. So you can do this and plan to do it within your facilities. There might be an increase to the well path contract.
Affirmative.
Because it's different services.
Yeah, I think more than might be. I think that were we to do this, there would be an increase to an amendment to that well path contract and additional services that we would require of them. And those services would be, you know, to meet the needs of individuals and get them to a place where they can then receive due process for the things of which they're accused.
Okay. Any comments? So we don't have an amendment because there's no real cost in here. So this would just be a straight vote for the committee.
There's a lot of work in it, but there's not a lot of cost.
There is, I believe, the
rulemaking.
report in October would be where we would understand what those costs may or may not be.
Right.
And you'll have some expense for rulemaking.
Rulemaking, there'll be a little report with DMH, Dale, and you know, within the AHS to look at options and opportunities within that's in the healthcare proposed amendment that you'll see. And it's on our webpage, so you can see it there.
Okay, wonderful, thank you.
It'll be in judiciary tomorrow.
Senator Norris?
Yes, we haven't seen that amendment yet. I'm sure that's for the cost. My question, Commissioner, is WellPath is already providing these services to approximately 3 to 5 individuals within your facilities?
Not
No.
competency restoration per se, sir. They are capable of providing it in that they provide it for other states, for people in other states, but not for us. We don't have a mechanism for that. So what we provide is the medical care that we provide any other member of our incarcerated community. But competency restoration, which is a relatively specific kind of practice, is not something that we currently address. That would have to be right now addressed outside, and that has at times been the rationale for removing people who are credibly accused of really troubling crimes out of a correctional facility in order to be able to obtain those kinds of services. I think being able to provide them inside makes for a safer situation for all involved.
Thank you. Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
It was a solid bill when I left our committee.
I will entertain a motion to move.
I'll move the
Bill favorably. Okay. The clerk will clerk away.
Remember the bill last year?
It's just a blur. It's just a blur.
So this
Okay.
or that's 193?
Minute.
That's 193.
That's 193.
Senator Baruth. Senator Brennan, yes. Senator Lyons.
Yes.
Senator Norris.
Yes.
Senator Watson.
Yes.
Senator Westman.
Yep.
Senator Perchley.
Yes.
Who's reporting?
I don't know.
It's either him or I better.
I haven't seen the amendment, so it's all yours. We don't get it till tomorrow.
I'm glad to report it.
Norris knows a lot about it, but you're.
Yeah, there's very little to report.
There is.
Sure.
But there will be. And that amendment comes in.
No,
Okay.
no, it will increase the well path Well, Path was,
So
came
we
in at committee and talked
We got
about
two
the
more.
dates.
take a break till we have to get, ledge council here for 323.
Oh, good.
323, and then
And then we'll see if we can move up 232. We have 323 and 233.